Good afternoon. Welcome in. How you doing?
We're going to attempt to do something crazy here today. Don't fall over here.
I'm getting the link sent out here quick.
That baby back up.
One more here. I need to share my X. Alrighty, there we go. Good afternoon. Hi, Dave. How you doing, buddy? All right, now for Facebook.
Oh, hello. Can I help you? Sweet girl, can I help you?
Alrighty. Thomas and Jay, how you doing? Welcome in, guys. Wait, were you climbing up here?
Tiny tried to and didn't like get it well enough.
All right, welcome in, everybody. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Thomas says, hello, Chris, Caitlin, and Dave.
What are you doing? Sit down, you little shit.
How's everybody been? Hi, Andrew. Welcome in, buddy. Glad to see you here.
What are you doing?
All right, let me make sure that you guys can see me okay, because we're going to have some fun here.
Casey, what are you doing? Hey, girl.
How's that? Is that good there? I don't know if you can reach me there, can you? Dave says, hi, Chris and Caitlin.
I can reach.
I got the thing in front of me here. Oh, we're going with orange. You think you're going to need all of them?
In case one of them decides to snap. Because my luck.
Ow. Gentle.
Your beard is like.
She's like trying to rip my hair out piece by piece.
Okay.
Now you're doing the two, right? The fork.
Figure it out.
You gotta find dead center.
You can squeeze it in there. I know.
You need me to hold it?
I just need to see. Does that seem even?
I don't know.
Does it feel even? Does that say 2 more full in this?
Well, here's how I would do it. I would just straight down like that. Jay's been cleaning, doing laundry all day. My daughter decided to get rid of some of her stuff. Now, the bed of his truck is half full of shit, huh? Hi, Jamie. Andrew said, it's Billy Gibbons. How you doing, Jamie? Now you got to get that into 3 different sections on that side. Well, I hope you didn't need them. Okay, beeper. What? Apparently, I have to be an active participant here. Make sure it's nice and tight. Sweet Pea's like, what you doing?
I can't braid for shit.
You can't breathe for shit or braid for
braid. Shit? I legitimately cannot braid for shit.
Well, that's why you're supposed to practice and learn.
Like the 2 strands shit on me.
Katie's trying to learn how to
braid a beard, and it's very difficult.
Trying to learn how to braid. Maybe if I bring them up here.
It might just be a 2-strand braid. Sorry, Daddy. Which is the best I can do. Because I can't braid for shit.
Hey, Cal. 1 second, bud. There we go. Link sent.
There's one very loose, but it'll do for now. Because, let's see.
And you can braid both of them together.
That's what I was just going to do.
Well, there we are.
Howdy, howdy.
Yeah, I was about to give you a call. I didn't see anything pop up on Saturday. And before I went to bed, there was nothing going on today. You were getting me worried. I was about to give you a call. Then I got on YouTube and I was like, oh, I wonder if he's posted anything. Oh, look, he just started a show. I think I'll join in.
Yeah, I took off this morning. I had some stuff I had to take and work on.
Well, not only that, but dude, you were like a machine. I mean, you do a show just about every day.
Yeah, I've been told that I need to start taking some time off. I'm getting in trouble.
Yeah.
So.
You are not a robot, sir.
Well, I know that you guys like to be on here and hang out and stuff, so I try and be here as much as possible.
I do have a couple of interesting things to bring up. First of all, public service announcement.
Cool what?
Oh, those are neat. Oh, those are neat. Oh, that looks good on you. You need a third one in the middle, though.
I think she's going to do all three of them. Put them both together. Is that what you're doing?
Huh?
You have to redo
Okay, first of all, public service announcement to all the home cooks out there. If your mandolin slicer comes with a little gripper for the vegetables, please use it. Otherwise, you may end up mandolin slicing your finger like I did this morning.
Yeah, I've done that. It's fun.
Oh, yeah. I took off a nice little tip of my finger. Boy, did that hurt. And, yeah, it bled good, too. I think I clipped a capillary. It's not bleeding now, but it still throbs. I mean, it's a pain. Second, in case anybody hasn't seen the news yet, our beloved vice presidential Democratic candidate has picked up yet another nickname. Now he is Touchdown Tim Walz.
Touchdown Tim Walz, huh?
Yeah, they call him Touchdown because that's what he does.
Where's his dick?
Yeah, he touches down below, especially little boys. The evidence is coming out now as we speak. There is a gentleman on Twitter who is posting all the evidence right now, and it's apparently pretty damning. It is so bad that there are now rumors flying around the Kamala campaign headquarters that they may just suspend Tim Walz over these allegations. I mean, it's not like
they'll celebrate him over it.
Well, they might, but I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. And this is absolutely insane. That I mean, we all kind of suspected. I mean, he founded or was major part of the gay club at the school over there, and he was in football. What do predators like to do? They love getting involved in sports. In fact, one of the most famous predators who was offed by the victim's father at the airport on live television, of all things. He was a karate instructor.
Yep.
This is what they do. This was been their modus operandi for literally longer than I've been alive. I think right now, Andrew, his full nickname would be Touchdown Timpon AWOLs. Touchdown Timmy.
You got to put something in there about the horse, though. You missed the horse.
Oh, yeah. That one's kind of hard to work into his name, though, really.
Horse shot.
And it doesn't have the right ring to it. I mean, the horse jokes are there. It's just really hard to work it into his nickname in a very convincing way. There you go.
Katie's asking how.
I can't move over a little bit. Move over a little bit. You're not quite in camera. There you go. Oh, you're looking good there, man. You just need some beads into that beard and
off center though.
It's the best.
A little Viking face paint.
I can't braid for shit.
I'm gonna go to see somebody to style this because I want to get the mustache part turned out. I want to get this trimmed up here.
Yeah.
Go to a barber and have him.
Well, your beard is a media icon now, buddy. What can I say? You got to have your co-star looking good. Also, no, I'm not really dressed up today. I didn't think there was going to be happening, so I'm just in my normal clothes. Usually, I put on a nice button-down shirt or something when I do these, but
fine. It's just a casual day. We're just kind of hanging out, talking, and making fun of stupid shit. Hopefully, we got to find some stupid shit to make fun of, which isn't hard with the Democrat Party.
I was about to say we could just. I mean, we can look at the fact that SNL is now mocking Kamala Harris. Things are going crazy if Saturday Night Live is not on your side.
Yeah.
Every day that passes, I am more and more convinced that Trump is going to, at the very least, win the election. Now, I don't know if they're going to let him take power, but it looks like we're going to have a case of we voted just hard enough for the cheat to fail. Because they're going to. There's a lawsuit right now that it's working its way through the courts to ban the U.S. Postal Service from handling mail-in ballots in certain places, and they're addressing the whole shipping of ballots across state lines using U.S. Postal Service assets thing. Mind you, I don't know if that's going to be resolved in time or what effect that's going to really have, but it's up there. We've also recently won a victory in Michigan, forcing them to hire more Republican poll workers. I know we're working on that in Georgia as well. Raffensperger's being a little rat burger. And
he was a piece of shit. I don't know how. Well, how is he still in office?
How do you think? How do you think?
He's an establishment weenie.
Yeah, that and the governor of Georgia, Kemp. I don't know really what to think of that dude. I mean, we all know that initially he tried to help Trump. Then his daughter's boyfriend mysteriously died in a car explosion. Mysteriously. Come on. We all know what happened there. He was eliminated by the deep state. Whoever actually pulled the trigger on that, it doesn't really matter at this point. But the message was clear. Your daughter's next. And Kemp, obviously giving a shit about his daughter, decided to just back the fuck off. And you know what? I can't fucking blame him. If my kid was being threatened by the deep state and they just proved that, in a matter of hours they can put together an op to blow up her boyfriend, I might back the fuck off too. And they might have just enough compromise on him to the point where he can't resign and run away. Because that would be the next thing on my list, is that I would, at the very earliest convenience where it wouldn't look too suspicious, I'd be resigning from office saying, you know what, I need to focus on health, family, blah, 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 the usual wishy-washy bullshit politician excuses for when they need to run the fuck away. And I'd be taking whatever money I got and moving someplace where the U.S. doesn't have an extradition treaty. Second I do, I'd be turning around and blasting everybody on the internet. You know the reason why I resigned, right? They threatened my daughter's life. They killed her boyfriend. I had to do what was right for my family and protect their lives. I'm sorry for the country, but they put me in an impossible position. Either I saved my daughter's life or, I risk trying to help something that may have not been able to be helped. So really, at that point, I'm sympathetic to his position. I don't know Kemp well enough as a human being. I don't live in his state. I don't know what he's really like, but he seemed like he tried to have a pair in 2020 and actually stand up and try and fight this thing until they told him, you know what? No, sit the fuck down or your daughter's next. And if we can get to your daughter, we can get to you. You can have a mysterious heart attack or some shit and we'll replace you with somebody that'll actually listen to us. What the fuck do you do at that point? What the fuck do you even do at that point? I mean, we can say resist and fight and bite and, all that crap all we want. We're not the ones having our kids directly threatened by the deep state. We're not the ones who had our son or daughter's significant other blown the fuck up. And then as a mockery, they murdered the investigator who was looking into it. And we weren't at that cross the Rubicon moment where it was, you know what, either we revolt now or we're doomed. We still had some kind of a shot. Trump was already starting to say he's going to come back again. At that point, as a parent, I can honestly say, I don't know what I would do. I don't know what, and I know you, Chris. The second somebody threatened Caitlyn, you'd be all over that shit. You'd be trying to tear their eyes out. I know you.
Yeah. Somebody threatens my daughter, they're not going to like what happens because I will not stop at anything. So
see, we get that because we're parents.
Oh, hell. You're in trouble now.
Oh, no. Oh, no. My boy coming. My boy coming. My bro. Oh, this is going to get fun. This is going to... Oh, you, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to turn in for a good show today. Ooh.
Alrighty.
All three of us wise asses are going to be on TV.
I don't know about wise, but two wise asses and a dumbass, maybe.
You're smarter and wiser than you think, Chris.
I've been through a lot of bullshit to get this way, too.
I was about to say, look at what you have been through in your life. You're still here. You're still functioning. You know, you haven't gone to jail on murder charges or anything like that. I'd say you're wise enough to at least avoid a prison sentence. And I don't know. These days, it can be pretty easy. It can be pretty easy to wind up in a very bad legal position.
Give me time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I already just touched on the one thing that would send you to prison.
Oh, hell. Hold on, Jay. I fucked up. I think I sent him the X link instead of the...
Oops.
He's like, why the hell am I on X?
Yeah.
There you go. Sorry, bud. I was wondering what was taking so long.
Can the left stop trying to buy voters with their selling of the vibe?
No.
I don't know, Andrew. I don't know.
The only way they can, it's the only chance they have at winning is to make it seem like they have something going for them, so that when votes mysteriously show up, they can say, oh, look, see, we told you we were going to get this influx because of the vibe, you know?
Oh, yeah. Hey, buddy. Oh.
Jay.
I had to step out and take a phone call, and I came back, and Chris had got his beard did, and I saw Cal on there. I was like, oh, shit, I'm jumping in.
Oh, yeah, I got to jump in on this stuff. I just went over
what's happening down here.
I just went over Tim Waltz having a new nickname added on.
Oh, yeah.
He's now Touchdown. He's Touchdown Timpon AWOLs.
Yep.
Because he really likes football.
Well, he's the perfect Democrat. I mean, he is the full package. He's a diddler and everything.
He's a diddler. He's a wimp. Pretty sure he's
been at Diddy's parties.
Yeah, pretty sure he stated he has white privilege. You know, all that crap. Hey, Fred. You know, he is the total package, and he's the perfect Democrat man. He has no spine. He also has no dick. Oh, no balls. And by the way, if anybody from Tim's campaign secretly sees this later, that is a challenge, by the way. I want to see him whip it out live on camera and prove that he has man bits down there and how big they are. I'm wagering mine is bigger than his. All three.
I'm wagering that he's taking hormones.
Oh,
probably shrink it.
Yeah, he probably eats a whole ton of unfermented soy. I mean, you have to in order to get a look like this.
He has one of those little micros where just the head pops out.
Yeah, just enough for I mean, here's another one for you. You know, he went pheasant hunting recently, right? Well, there's a very good chance that he broke state and federal law when he did it. The shotgun he was using is a Beretta XL. It holds 4+1. Migratory Bird Act says you're only allowed to load 3+1, and you have to have a plug in your tube magazine. Looks like he loaded that sucker all the way up.
Huh.
He forgot to plug his shotgun. We all know where the plug was, but you know, he forgot to put it in. Well, he forgot to put it in the right tube. He forgot to put it in the right tube, is what I'm getting at.
Butt plug. Are you drumming for the Muppets yet? Animal Farm? That's what Andrew's asking. If Animal Farm is drumming for the Muppets yet.
Hey, speaking of Muppets.
Oh, nice.
Wait, I gotta look here.
It's going in the trash. But
Poor Kermit's getting thrown away.
It's a real Kermit.
Hey, look, Jay can dictate what Joe does next. He's got his puppeting experience now.
Yep, I sure do.
All you gotta do is get close enough to Biden to stick his hand up his ass.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to stick it
They'd
up
have
there.
to
He
pay me a
tends
lot
to
of
shit a
money
lot.
to do that.
We're gonna do one of
think I
those
might-
gloves that goes all the way up to the elbow pit.
Yeah, I might need
When,
Big Joe's
The
10%.
veterinarian gloves when they're
Gotta
going in
do
to
that.
check cows.
No,
Yeah, this is just what came out of my daughter's room.
No.
Wow.
Spring cleaning?
Yeah, so she's fall cleaning, whatever you want to call it. I better get out of the sun. My phone's gonna overheat.
Uh-oh.
It's already getting hot.
Oh,
shit.
see?
Try to stand in the shade over her. I don't know if I got a good spot over here.
Animal
Fine,
Farm
man.
said, "Oh no, don't throw them away."
Oh, he's going. Oh shit!
Uh-oh,
Oops.
we're going somewhere. I think we
He's
just took a
going,
fall,
man.
Cal.
We've had him for long enough. Yep,
You have a
yep.
place that you can like donate.
I'll just hold you. I'll just hold you in my hands, everybody. Oh man, I'm so far away from everything. I think it'll probably just go in the trash can.
Yeah, he lives out
I
in the
know it's very
boondocks.
wasteful. I don't think it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna choke any sea turtles or anything. So I
Fred
think we're good there.
said should have sent Dan Quayle with Timmy hunting. You mean oh, what the fuck's his name? His daughter was in Congress.
Cheney?
Yeah, Dick Cheney.
Cheney,
He went
yeah,
with,
yeah.
Oh,
with
yeah,
Timmy.
yeah. Have Cheney and Waltz go hunting together. Let's see which one of them survives.
My
Yeah.
money's on Cheney.
Yeah, Cheney's a fucking savage. He shot his own friend. Yeah, no, that was a fucking warning. We all know what that was.
That guy
was
knew
no
something
accident.
that he didn't want getting out.
Yep, and Cheney, unfortunately for him, loaded the wrong shell, and the dude survived. Although it was probably played off as a very stern warning. I mean, these people operate at such a completely different level from us. Everything that we think James Bond villains do, these people do on a regular basis. It is absolutely insane. I mean, they have no qualms about killing people. And Jay, I just went over Brian Kemp because Raffensperger is being a shit about training the poll workers to read the votes by hand, which is now being enforced down in Georgia. He was complaining, that they can't do it, that it's traumatic and that it's tiring, and which is a load of bullshit. He's just dragging his feet because Raffensperger is a rat burger. He is a deep state boy. But I was just going over how Brian Kemp tried to step in the 2020 election only for his daughter's boyfriend to get blown the fuck up. And, how we would all feel as parents if the message was, hey, you know what? Your daughter's next. Shut the fuck up and sit down, boy. And that, to an extent, I sympathize with his position of just knuckling under, because if that was my kid, I'd probably do the same thing. But the thing is I would also, I know those guys are worth plenty of money. If I was Raffensperger, I'd be looking to sell off everything that I have, resign from office as soon as it's politically expedient to do so, and move someplace where they're not going to find me, and then just get on the internet and blast them. You know why I resigned, right? You know why I left office, right? Yeah, well, this is really what the fuck is going on over there. This is what happened. Yeah, my daughter's boyfriend was blown up by the deep state. Doesn't matter exactly which agency or person pulled the trigger. It was all them. And then they told me my daughter is next if I didn't knuckle under and let them just do whatever the hell they wanted. Did you hear they arrested a man yesterday outside Trump rally with shotgun, loaded handgun, and fake VIP pass and press credentials? Oh, man, they are really fucking trying. They are really fucking trying. I got to give these people props. I mean, we always call them lazy and low effort, but goddamn, I mean, they have been really putting in the work to try and knock the king down from his throne. So you know what? This is one of those gotta respect the enemy situations. the enemy we're fighting is a giant amorphous blob, but every now and again they actually make a serious effort to do something. Granted, they screw it up, but
they're going to have to get him a food taster and all that shit.
Yeah. At this rate, they're going to have to.
If they start getting as clever as some of the things I've heard the Russians do.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, with everything that's happened, you know, maybe some of it, they had help and stuff like that. That could be argued, but still, it's kind of been amateur at best. And, but, you know, if the professionals really get involved, they could get it done.
Well, we all know what happens if Hillary really, I mean, Hillary is famous for having her gigantic fucking body count. It's over 90 now at this point from the last time I looked. I think it's close to 100. Might be over 100 from the ones that we don't know that she eliminated. But whatever she does, she always sends the best. I mean, she has sent, I don't know who in the hell her contractors are, her cleaners, whatever the hell you want to call them. But she has sent some damn good ones. Again, got to respect the enemy for their capabilities. The ones that she sent, I mean, some of them have eliminated them in ways that really did look like suicide at first. I mean, even though we know the person would commit suicide. One guy was eliminated with carbon monoxide from his own car. You know, some of them were shot to death. At least one of them looked like he hung himself. I mean, she gets the work done. She gets the work done. Whoever she's got on retainer, and at this point, she's better be getting a bulk discount because, you know, no true professional would be getting this much customer service from her without offering her some kind of a discount.
Oh, yeah.
They're getting the work done, you know. And so if Hill Dog decides that she's actually going to take a swipe,
she gets the rewards.
Yeah, she's got some kind of customer loyalty program at this point. Oh, I also made a public service announcement. If any of y'all home cooks have a mandolin slicer and it comes with one of those little grippers, please be sure to use the gripper. Have a look, Jay. See that bandaged finger?
Yeah.
Guess what happened with me and a mandolin slicer?
What'd you do?
I sliced off a little bit
too deep. Before.
Yeah, well, it was one of those that does
the top of my knuckles.
Yeah. I just lost a tip of my finger, just a little bit. I mean, it was enough that it's throbbing right now, and it was bleeding good at the time. It has stopped bleeding. You know, this was about 15 hours ago. I made soup about midnight, and I was slicing potatoes for the soup. And I was like, well, these are really weird shaped potatoes. They're not getting into the gripper, you know, in a satisfactory manner. So I was knuckling them. And I was trying to do it the way that I was taught, you know, in culinary arts class. And that's where you wrap your knuckle like this. So, you know, if you lose anything, you don't lose a fingertip. Well, I had to splay my hand out.
That's right. I lost the top of my knuckle.
Yeah, I had to splay my hand out to grab that last bit of potato and get it sliced. And I ran it back real fast. And all of a sudden, I felt pain in my finger. I'm like, shit. Shit.
Cora said you have to be smarter than the mandolin, and Thomas said, haha, cow, I took the tip years ago on one of those. Yeah, I think we've all.
Yeah, I think we've all that. Yeah. Yeah, or we've done it with a sharp knife, really sharp knife when we're, you know.
I got a sharp knife story for you.
We're not all Chef Ramsay.
Back in junior high, I was over at my aunt and uncle's house with my cousin. And they had just gotten their deer sausage, deer bologna back, and I was trying to get some of that cut. The knife wouldn't go through the burlap. I was getting mad, so finally I just took and went like this with the knife and hit the burlap, and it popped off to the side and right down the side of my fucking finger. You can still see the scar there.
You can see a faint line there, yeah.
Yeah, right here. But yeah. That was fun. We're not going to do that again.
Yeah, I was about to say, Thomas, if you're taking the tips off with a mandolin slicer, maybe you ought to switch to being a rabbi. Also, it appears that Jay's phone has overheated because we seem to have lost him.
Yeah. It happens.
Yep,
He'll
he's
be
trying
back.
to come back. There we go.
He just has to run in the house and
Cool that
cool
thing down. Ugh. Better submerge that phone in ice or something.
Nice
got a
and
fan
breezy
blowing
out
out.
here today.
Oh yeah, it's nice out here in Oklahoma today. It's only going to get up to 83. Mind you, as the stubborn fool that I am, I have not turned on the air conditioning this month at all. In fact, I had it off most of last month too. Even though it got up to like 94 yesterday, I just said fuck it and I went to bed during the hottest hours. But yeah, no. Just all the crap that the Democrats are trying to pull. The fact that they lost the narrative with SNL. Like I said, I am more confident than ever that Trump is going to at least win the election. It might be very, very close. I think it's 270 to win right now. That has him up at 302. I don't know. There's going to be so much. There's going to be so much crap that's going to go on election day after election day.
Did you see where AOC threatened Kamala with violence if she changed the FTC director?
Ooh, I didn't see that one. I mean, I know we're looking at a civil war inside the Democratic Party, but damn, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, I saw that too, Animal Farm. The Anna Kasparian is now an independent.
Yep. That is probably one of the nicest things that I've heard so far. Even Seneca Uger is starting to question the Democratic narrative. He put out a tweet post recently that was just shy of endorsing Trump's policies. Just it's like, dude, I know you have half a brain, even though you deny the Armenian genocide. That's fine. I get it. That's a cultural thing between you and the Armenians, whatever. But I know that man has half a brain. He has come out with some intelligent takes before. Mind you, they're all for the other side, but they're still intelligent takes. If he could just finish putting the pieces together, he'd realize that he's been stuck on the Democrat plantation, just like a lot of others. Speaking of the Democrat plantation, go ahead.
A lot of people are trying to get him to fire Anna since she's not
dedicated.
Anymore.
Yeah, she's not dedicated to the cause. Bless you. Yeah. No.
Pollen attacking you out there or what?
Yeah, because I got my window open.
Oh, well, it's a good day to have it open.
Oh, yeah. I got my window open. I got my fan on. Let me get that out of the way better so I can get a little more light in here. But, yeah, Seneca Uger does have an intelligent take every now and again. I just wish he'd finish putting the pieces together. Then him and the rest of the Young Turks could realize they are not the resistance anymore. They are the establishment. They are everything that they're claiming to fight against.
But here's my problem.
Thank you, Andrea.
Here's my biggest problem. Okay.
Oh.
Shank and Timmy both like horses. I don't know if you've ever seen that clip, but there is a clip where Shank says that if he was able to change the rules, he would make it so that he could have sex with horses.
Okay, look, if his donger is really that big that the only pleasure he can get is from a female horse,
I don't think he's talking about females.
I'm just saying, because there actually is a guy, I think his last name is Falcon, legit. He has a gigantic donger. It's like 26 inches. And the dude gets absolutely no.
Dude would he would pass out when he gets a hard on.
He just about does. I mean, it's a legit medical condition. I feel sorry for him, but at the same time, as a guy, I'm like, you know what? There are women who would definitely want that. And apparently, he had a girlfriend steady for freaking years and years and years that was really into that. I know he was on late night talk shows like 10, 15 years ago. But I remember him just because of oh, by the way, buddy, you're muted. I can't hear you.
Yeah, we can't hear you, bud.
I see your lips moving, but ain't nothing coming out.
Animal Farm said Saturday Night Live was vicious yesterday with fucking
They were. Oh boy.
I'll have to go look it up. I haven't watched Saturday Night Live since the 90s.
Yeah, same here. The last time I watched it is when they actually, and this I found this hilarious. A lot of people memory hold this one. When the I forget the name of the bill, but
I was making a good joke real quick. I was just saying that, that guy probably didn't even have to get in bed. He could just sneak it through the covers.
Yeah, he can reach it from across the room.
Just sneak it through the window sometimes.
But Phil Hartman, Chris Farley, and I forget the others that were involved, but they were the two main ones. When the 3-day waiting period became federal law, NICS, National Institute of Criminal Check System, requiring a 3-day waiting period before buying a gun. When that became law, SNL actually lampooned that as being a bad thing. And it was Chris Farley, Phil Hartman, and a couple of others. Again, I forget who the women were. But, they put it up as, okay, this thing has become law. Now, Phil Hartman, as the father of the family, feels that their neighborhood is unsafe. He wants to buy a gun. He goes to the gun store, and they're like, well, yeah, but we have to wait 3 days. In the meantime, here's a flail. And he gives him a flail on a stick with a spiked ball on the end. Here, just use this for home defense in the meantime. Well, hello, Charlie. That very night, they have a break-in, and Phil Hartman, of course, tries to protect the family with that flail, and he accidentally hits Chris Farley in the head, which, of course, he kills him. And, the whole thing is put up as the 3-day waiting period is a bad thing. A lot of people don't realize that SNL actually used to be fairly balanced. They would call out shit from both sides until they went hard left.
Yeah, Mad TV too. I used to love Mad TV.
Oh God,
Mad TV was awesome.
Mad TV, they just loved calling everybody out. They didn't give an absolute fuck. And you got to realize most people on Mad TV, they were all kind of off to the left, but at the same time, any shit that came across, they were more than willing to jump on it.
They would shit on everybody.
Yeah, they did. And back then we could have fun with that. These days we can't.
Oh, I still do it to both sides. If somebody on the right does something stupid, Lindsey fucking Graham gives me lots of laughs all the time because of how dumb he fucking is.
Oh yeah. It's just like I call out Speaker Johnson now. I refer to him as Little Johnson.
I still say they got pictures of him with a little boy somewhere.
Well, it's something. I mean, but there's I just call him Little Johnson now because we all know it's not very big. If it was, he wouldn't be doing the shit. He would actually have a pair, but he's Little Johnson now. God, I hope we get to replace him with somebody that's actually conservative. At this point, I'd take Matt Gaetz or Cruz. Both of them, they have established track records of. And if Vance was still in the Senate, pick him for a leadership position too. But anyway. But one thing I wanted to bring up, speaking of losing the narrative and stuff, Barack Obama actually decided to climb out of his cave and denigrate black people for not voting for Kamala.
We have some memes flying around Discord about that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I mean,
you're talking. Can't talk about here.
Yeah. Well, on the surface, the one that I can say is you've got a half black man, a half black, really, really rich man, trying to tell black working class families to vote for a half Indian, half white girl, and shaming them for not voting by race.
Yep.
I mean,
but she's not black.
He's gotten a ton of. I don't know where they get the black stuff from, but no, he's gotten a ton of blowback from that, and I think it's hilarious. I think it's absolutely hilarious. Obama,
when Nina Turner comes after you for what you say to black people, you're in trouble because she is as far left as they go.
Mm-hmm. And Obama used to be basically a hero to the black community. Look, we the president now. That was the memes back then. And he was very well supported by them. Now they're turning around and saying, shut the fuck up and sit down.
Well,
Yeah,
because he didn't do anything for their community all 8 years that he was in. He did everything for.
Let's be honest. I mean, Barack came in. He was a really, really well spoken. I heard that guy start talking for the first time, and I was like, "Holy crap!" He might even be the Antichrist. You know, like
He still got that silver tongue.
He was.
God, Cora!
And could do. He could say anything he wanted, and people ate it up.
You just saw that, Cal?
Scary.
Yeah, I just saw that. I'm sorry to interrupt, buddy, but I looked over and I saw what Cora was saying. I have bigger gonads than Johnson.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, but yeah, no, you're right. Obama is very charismatic, or at least he used to be. Back then, when he was new on the scene and he could cut in on all the narratives and create a stir, yeah, he was big. You're right.
Incredible.
Yeah, and I was thinking the same thing. This guy's got all the markers for the instrument of the enemy. I mean, I didn't want to come right out and say it because, you know, of all the horrible things that he did, he at least didn't get the country completely blown to smithereens.
Right.
You know, there were certain things that he just did not accomplish in that realm. I mean, you know, he did a good deal of damage to the economy. He helped get a lot of illegals in here, you know, a lot of that crap. But it even, you know, you compare Obama to Biden. Biden administration has been so much worse than his. And he had 8 years to screw things up. And Biden just completely outproduced him in the realm of failures in 4 years. So by that metric, you got to give the Biden administration credit, even though we all know Obama was the one who's been doing all this crap. Just as simple metrics, especially with Biden linking Harris to everything that he's done, and Harris even admitting, "Oh, I wouldn't do a darn thing different," and then Trump calling her a retard. I mean, this election has been the absolute spiciest election I have seen on record in my lifetime. And, you know, I vaguely remember Gary Hart. Chris, you might remember him more. You're a little older. That was the 88 election. I remember how charismatic he was until all the crap came out about him. You know, he looked like he was going to be an absolute shoo-in for the nomination until all that crap came out. And then he had to just,
and Dukakis took over.
Yeah, and we got Dukakis. Perot, there was a very good chance. There was a very good chance at one point that Ross Perot could have been president until George Bush had his granddaughter kidnapped, and then Perot had to hire his own mercenary team to go get her back. You know, that shit is just barely, you know, making the waves now, and poor Perot is, you know, he's been gone for some time, but he had a good chance of being president. He really did.
Dave said he's going to throw up. He wants to throw up every time he hears Obama's name. So here's a question for y'all. Did you all see the videos coming out of California showing Trump's motorcade on his way to Coachella? Because he talked to Coachella the other day. Was it yesterday, I think?
Yep.
And the highway was lined with Trump supporters the entire way for hours before. And then to get into Coachella, you have to get on a shuttle bus that takes you up to where you get in at. And people were, you know, it was just really, really, really high energy, all about Trump the whole time you're there.
Oh, God, yes. I've actually got some good news in relation to that. We're getting early voting reports out of Orange County, of all places. Last election, Trump was down at this same time by about 15,000 votes. He's only down by about 1,000 votes now. I mean, you know, granted, California is most likely going to go blue. It would be an absolute miracle if California went red because of all the cheating that goes on there. And I've mentioned it before. You know, I've seen the cheating firsthand. But the very fact that he's only down by 1,000 votes in Orange County in the early voting records right now says a lot. And early voting records, it's a little harder, and they don't usually do too much cheating with those because it's kind of hard to pad the numbers without being noticed really easily. So, I mean, if we just go by the early voting numbers, we can get a kind of a genuine idea of, at least, you know, to an extent, because, you know, there's a lot of caveats to the early voting. There are a lot of Republicans that will not vote early because they're afraid their vote is just going to get thrown in the trash. There are a lot of votes that do get thrown in the trash. And, you know, then there's an overrepresentation of Democrats because usually they do a lot of ballot harvesting. So they try to get those early votes in as fast as they can. So the fact that he's down by 1,000 now says that most likely, you know, if we went county by county in California instead of winner take all, he'd probably win Orange County. I mean, there's a very good chance of it if, you know, a whole bunch of caveats weren't there. California has had their elections cheated for so damn long that, you know, they've got that shit down to a science. They really do. And, you know, it's stupid because California should be a swing state. It really should. If the vote was actually fair and equal and wasn't being cheated left and right. I know when I was spent my time in Merced, I knew a lot more people that would swing vaguely Republican over Democrat. You know, they didn't really have a party loyalty, and it was more, what can you do for me? You know?
Yeah. Well, and that's what Ice Cube's trying to get him back into doing out there. He's been pushing that for the last 8 years. You know, he had that, what was it called, the Platinum Plan. He talked to Trump about it. Trump was open to talking to him, and the Democrats just said, "Well, wait till after the election, and we'll talk to you." And then they never fucking talked to him after they got elected. Yeah.
The best thing that could happen to California, and I know it won't because the Democrats like things the way they are, the best thing that could happen to California is if they switch to district voting for the Electoral College like Nebraska does.
Animal Farm, post it on Discord, please. You can post it right in general.
AF is right. California is going, the cheating is through the roof. Honestly, I think every state should be district voting instead of winner take all. We would get a much more fair representation of what the pulse of the country really is.
Well, yeah, because and like here in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh,
like
Philadelphia, Harrisburg, Scranton, those couple cities completely overtake all of us out here in the country.
Yeah.
Each city should count for 1 point. Each district should count for 1 point. And, you know, that way it makes it more fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really, the Electoral College should be broken down by district. I mean, you know, each state gets a set number of Electoral College votes based on population. All right. Well, they also get allocated Congress people based on that same population. That's why redistricting is such a huge issue. Mm-hmm. Really, it should be vote by district. And if you have an extra point left over, it should, you know, honestly, it should go to whoever wins the popular vote in that state overall, which is how Maine does it.
That just makes too much sense, Cal. That'll never happen.
Well, yeah, of course. I know it'll never happen because it makes too much sense.
You can't cheat that.
Yeah, it makes it a lot harder to cheat if the Electoral College is broken down by district and, you know, wasn't vote by state. It also make the map look a lot more interesting too, and it would make the redistricting fights that much harsher.
I agree, Animal Farm. The census should only include citizens. It should not include illegals.
Oh yeah, they've been underrepresenting the census properly for years. Me and Jay's state, Oklahoma, should have 1 more point than it does. They undercounted that many of us. I know they undercounted my county. I know because it's so small.
Undercounting. But I'm talking they're out in California. They're including the illegals in the census.
Oh yeah.
Fucking up
which
the
is
numbers.
Overcounting. Yeah, which is a form of overcounting.
I
know that in my county, because I know some of the people that, you know, their upper reaches here, they undercounted us by something like 1,200 people at the very least. That's just a guess. And because of that, we lost several $1 million, tens of millions of dollars in federal road funding. So our county's roads are shit because they just don't have the money for it. All they get really, they get what they get out of the federal government, but they get a reduced amount over the last payout period for road funding. And that's just the roads. I don't know what the hell else is going on. I just know the one guy that's
for a long time.
Oh yeah.
Yep. I agree. Animal Farm said it's done that way to increase the Democratic representatives. Yep.
Yeah.
That way
We're a few years
California
off.
can throw more people in.
We're a few years off from the next census. That's something that Trump needs to make sure that if he has the ability to do so, or Vance or whoever comes after, they need to make sure that they fix the census properly so we get an accurate count of only U.S. citizens in each state. Some kind of, proof of citizenship. That's hard. But, the problem we have now with the census is that I think it's New York, California, and one other state. I forget which one it is. I read the article a couple of months back. I forget. But they should have, at least one or two fewer points. And Oklahoma should have one more. Florida should have one more. And Texas should have one more. That right there is enough to flip the election right there. You're talking 3 more electoral vote points.
I would love to see us have a collective state thing. What the hell is it called?
Compact of states.
Yeah, where they can ratify different things in the Constitution again.
Oh, constitutional convention.
That's it. Yeah.
We've been on the verge of that now for the last almost 20 years. That was an initiative that was started by
2 or 3 more states to flip.
Yeah. It was an initiative started by. Well, it was an initiative started originally by Virginia, and I think it was 04 or 06 to start a constitutional convention because they had some grievances with the Constitution. And some of the goals have changed over the years, but by and large, there has been a movement, and we're you're right. We're like a couple of states shy of getting enough to call for a genuine constitutional convention. All the red states are already behind having a constitutional convention.
Well, if we ever actually get our elections fucking back in order here in Pennsylvania, and we ever get a Republican back in the governor's seat, I don't see that happening anytime soon with all the bullshit that's been going on here. But I don't know. I've been talking with a friend about me getting into office, trying to run for office here.
Well, that's something to consider. I know if I lived in Pennsylvania, I'd vote for you.
Yeah, I would too. I was about to say the same thing, and then I was like, well, I can't vote for you. I'm
Pennsylvania.
Not legally, anyway.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you join the Democratic Party, I'm sure I could get my vote in somehow.
Hell, I'd vote for Jay down there. I think he'd make a great representative of the people. All the crap that he's been through in his life, the suffering that he's had, the things that he's had to deal with, his perspective as a parent, his full-throated support of gun rights.
Hey, don't say full-throated.
Oh my God!
I gotta watch that.
How many of you saw that fucking video? That new video, Men for Kamala.
Oh yeah, it turned out to all be a little light.
There isn't a single man in that fucking commercial. Not a single real man.
Not a single one. Dave, I'm voting for Trump because I love him and I'm ready for my kids to afford to move out. My kids can stay forever, but we'd be crowded. Yeah, I completely agree. Hell, if my son was speaking to me, I would be more than happy to have him here. I wouldn't care. I have no problems having generational households. And honestly, that's something that we should never really have gotten rid of as a culture.
Generational wealth, at least.
Yeah, well, generational wealth, generational households. What was it? My three sons, the grandfather was a key figure in the household. And, in an old style, European style generational household, the grandparents would, they would end up taking the smaller room in the house once the kids, started getting bigger and all that sort of thing. But, they would provide childcare to the youngins, while the currently child producing couple would do whatever they needed to do. Maybe mama takes in some extra washing. Dad obviously is working, but they were there to provide backup childcare. And that's a thing that has been an issue. One of the biggest complaints that a lot of single parents have, I'm not going to get into the whole single parent cultural issue. I'm just going to say, but one of the major complaints they have is childcare issues. And even in dual income households, they have childcare issues. I brought that up a few streams ago about how expensive it is. One woman ran the numbers and realized that she'd be, if she went to work, she wouldn't be really making much more than the cost of childcare. So she just decided to stop working, and even though things are a little tight, it's just gone on better that way. So one of the things culturally we really need to bring back is the idea of generational households being acceptable.
And we need to make it so that not both parents don't need to work.
Yes, that would be nice too.
What fucked up the whole working system was when they made it so they pushed for women to get in the workforce, which helped push down the wages, because now you have the workforce flooded with more people that need work. So now you can, pick and choose, and you can find people who will work for less money because they just want a job.
Outsourcing was also a huge issue. And I've got a unique perspective of that because I tried to get into tech 24 years ago now, 23. But when I was just getting...
Hi, my name is Bob. I will be helping you today.
Yes, exactly. When I was just getting my feet wet in the job market, I was being told, yeah, you know what, H-1B just got through. If we got you a job, your only job would be to train the guys that are going to go back overseas and handle all the stuff that you were going to do. Because I was getting into the market just as all the U.S. tech support centers were being shut down and shipped overseas to India and Bangladesh and a couple of other places. There for a while, before the trouble started over there, Ukraine was being looked at as the next possible place where, you had low wages and low expectations for workers. But at the same time, you got a certain higher level of competency because, their wages were being suppressed like hell. It wasn't quite at the same level of India, but it was close enough. And the quality of the product, that is tech support, was higher enough that some companies were starting to look at the Ukraine. Then, of course, the war started. So, but the point is that allowing all of this offshoring, all of this outsourcing, all of this stuff, that was another major, major blow. Because with the tech, if the tech industry had been allowed to grow organically, from what I have, my knowledge of it, keeping my finger on the pulse of the tech industry, if it had been allowed to grow organically in this country, we would have still maintained fairly high wages. We would have been able to absorb various blows to the industry, all these game companies laying off thousands of people because of DEI. Yeah, well, if we hadn't offshored so many tech jobs, the rest of the tech industry could be like, yeah, okay, well, you're a failed game developer. That's fine. You've got a work history. You know how to use this, this, and this. Come on over here. We'll at least give you, a job. We can find you a job in the call center over here. And they could find work that way, even though, some of them are complete failures of human beings that pushed for this DEI stuff in the first place. They can still answer a phone.
Yeah.
Point being is the tech industry could have absorbed all this stuff very easily if all of this offshoring and outsourcing hadn't happened in such a big way 24 years ago. And really, on the flip side of things, I can see why the corporations wanted to do this. It saved them an absolute fuck ton of money. I mean, they've been able to record absolutely record profits. Mind you, they haven't done anything with those profits, which is where it all turns sour. if you save money on a business in one realm, you should be reinvesting that money in the business in another realm. And they just haven't done that. That's the biggest failing. And now
I don't know that he makes her look better. It just makes them both look fucking even stupider, in my opinion. But she was trying to pull a Biden and pick somebody that if she won was so bad that they wouldn't want to impeach her because he would be worse. Yeah, that's my honest opinion.
I completely agree. That's why Obama picked Biden. I think he honestly suspected that there would be enough of a right-wing pushback that they would try and force him out of office somehow if he tried to pull some of his shit. Problem is that Biden at that time was still cognizant enough to realize what the fuck was going on. And he was already double dealing on Obama. So Obama just kind of had to let it ride. And then when it came time to, we almost got Hill Dog, for God's sakes. We almost got Hillary. And that was more or less a reward for her loyalty up to that point to the regime. And she would have actually been a fairly competent pick. But the fact that they passed over Biden initially, I don't think he's ever really gotten over that. And the fact that he was their second choice the next time around over Hillary was them saying, you know what, okay, we tried, but let's go ahead and put somebody in who is a complete sock puppet. Let's put somebody in who's a complete sock, somebody who is so dumb that they will follow orders. Again, underestimating Biden, because you don't stay in politics for as long as this guy has without having some tricks up your sleeve, especially when he's got a wife that is as power hungry as she is. So between Biden's decreasing
the only other wife I've seen that's as bad as Jill is Fetterman's wife.
I was going to say Hillary. I was going to honestly say
Fetterman's
Hillary.
wife is worse. Because
I don't know Fetterman well enough.
He had just had his stroke, and she was pushing him to run for Senate.
Again, also, I'm not convinced Fetterman is who he says he is. I've seen so many different pictures of the guy. I'm not convinced it's the same person. I think they've been playing character actor with us.
Yeah.
I don't doubt it. I mean, look at Biden, how many times he's changed over the last 4 years. You can look at pictures, and he has bigger ears in some pictures, and it's crazy.
Yeah. Biden may be using some body doubles, but I honestly see Fetterman as having been straight up replaced. I honestly don't think the guy that we're talking about right now, he may be the original Fetterman, but there for a while they were using body doubles to stand in for him. They had to, because he was probably having issues recovering from his medical problems. And I see that as completely, that is exactly something they would do, because they have to have a warm body in that seat. That warm body managed to win the election, so they have to have a warm body in that seat. The fact that he is now coming out and halfway supporting some of Trump's stuff and starting to call out fellow Democrats is telling me this is probably the original Fetterman. But they were swapping him around so often there for a while, and you talk to a medical professional.
Remember that one that there was a video out there where they were asking him a question, and he was like, "Who? Remember that video?
Yeah, he was coming out of Congress or something like that. Of course, he had a hoodie on.
Yeah, that was not the original. That's not the original Fetterman. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah. They've been playing body double with him. I mean, they probably had, or I should say, they've been playing Dave with him. And you know what? I got to give him props for having pulled this off without too many questions being raised. I mean, honestly, if this was, say, 40 years ago and they tried to pull this shit, first of all, the news would have been all over it because they were a lot more impartial back then. Second of all, there would have been calls for an investigation. And third, the second that this started stinking real bad, Fetterman would suddenly resign from office. They'd have to have another special election or an appointment or whatever. This shit would have not gone down as readily as it has if we had the morals and standards that we did 40 years ago.
Well, I mean, that's the problem with that particular party. Is it seems like their integrity is gone. Like they will. It's just about winning. It's just about keeping
power.
If you can take advantage of somebody and these are like, I know some people that vote Democrat and stuff, and they're not all like that, but I mean, most of them are just really self-centered. They don't have a very good moral compass.
Yeah,
and you know, they'll hurt you to gain advantage.
Yeah.
You know, no matter how.
Yeah,
and feel good about it because they won.
Yeah,
It's
and
crazy.
you know that's the thing.
They're the type of kids, like if you were playing soccer as a kid and you were playing the Democrats, they'd be the type that would run up, kick you in the balls, go kick a goal, and then celebrate.
Yeah. Didn't used to be this way. A big part of the problem is that the Democrat Party purged itself very actively of the old style Dixiecrats, which were fairly conservative all on their own. And, you know, they kept the Democratic Party kind of anchored towards the middle. I mean, you had your farther left Democrats from New York and California and Massachusetts and stuff. But then you had the Dixiecrats from the Deep South who today are Republicans almost completely. But they kept the party kind of anchored. They were like, yeah, you know what? Well, this is our common policy position, and then you're supporting these things. Well, let's work on the common policy first. And they were able to continually put off all the more extreme stuff until they managed to purge the party of those Dixiecrats. Once they did, you know, and a lot of them just died off or they left politics because of age. But once they were able to do that, they lost their anchor towards the center. And once they did that, once they started shifting left, the ocean of voters started shifting as well. The ones that used to be Dixiecrats, once they took a good hard look at what was going on, they realized that's not their Democratic Party anymore. A lot of them switched to being Republicans because the Republicans started to take the center and the right back from the Dixiecrats, from what used to be the common ground that they used to fight over so badly. The Democrats lost the center and they moved so far to the left. The only problem is that they dragged they dragged a significant minority of the country with them. Enough of a significant and vocal minority, and then they started capturing, you know, media and all that sort of thing. Once they did that, they had all the tools to put themselves in power as more or less a minority rule. Mind you,
Animal Farm's going to go watch Trump in Arizona.
Oh, got a Trump rally going to be going on here in a minute?
Yeah. If you all want to go watch that, we can go ahead and wrap up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's wrap up. And anybody who wants to get to the Trump rally, definitely go ahead.
My phone's doing weird shit, so I'm throwing it in the freezer.
I can see that. We're underneath the hamburger.
Yep.
All right.
Everyone
take care. Stay safe.
Everybody have a good night. We will talk to you tomorrow morning, 7 a.m.
7 a.m. or 6 for me. Bye-bye.
I might try to make it. I'll see you.
All right. Have a good night. See y'all later.